Hey, Jim here with Alvarenga Tours. How you doing? Have you seen this? Have you seen this? If so, stay tuned because we're going to need to talk about it.
Oh my God. Wow.
Sí.
La reina.
Ajá.
Con varias, mira.
Sí, con varias y vuelan también. Sí, también.
Wow.
Tienen bastante.
Yo creo que esos animalitos se van a meter en la tierra de los gatos.
No.
Hi there, Jim here with Alvarenga Tours. How's everyone doing? Thank you, Alvarenga Tours family, for following us, and thank you for your continued support. We're really appreciative of you supporting us throughout this journey. As you know, Alvarenga Tours is helping you build the house of your dreams in El Salvador. Today, I want to bring you up here because we're dealing with a family who had an infestation. I'm sorry, an infestation of termites, which are very common here. Termites, for lack of a better word, sometimes they call them comejeng, slang for El Salvador, comejeng or termites. And so this family called us because they were eating through the wood in the door frames. They're coming out of the floors. They're coming out of the outlets. So these are things that the family was very concerned because it's really an infestation of what's going on here. So we had to call a pest control company. Alvarenga Tours contacted this company, and that's what we're working with today. And there is it's a treatment that goes inside, internally, and externally. So externally, we are building if you would, a trench where we dig a trench around the house to build a wall to protect the exterior of the house so that they don't go through any holes or anything inside the house. So with termites, you got to be very careful because all you need is it's one egg, one larva, and they start spreading, and they spread like rice, honestly. And so what we're doing here is that is a chemical concentration to kill the termites from creating a wall between the outside and inside so they don't go through. That will penetrate into the soil and it will go deep down, and that will create a wall, if you would, a protection wall, so this won't allow the termites to go inside the house. So we're gonna have all the videos showing you where the termites have caused the damage inside the house. We had to remove the door frames pretty much because we need to inject the door frames, we need to inject the wood, we need to drill holes in the ceramic around the kitchen cabinets to make sure that we are injecting enough pesticide or enough solution chemicals to kill the termites, because it's a serious problem in El Salvador. You have to do a lot with the climate. It also has to do with the fact that perhaps the wood wasn't treated properly. And there are different types of woods in El Salvador, and sometimes people tend to go with a cheaper wood, which happens sometimes to be the problem, that they're not properly treated, or it could have been treated and all it took was one larva, one egg, and that expanded. It took, I think, for this family a time of a year and a half or a year and a couple of months to realize that they had a termite problem. So we're here helping out this family to eradicate the problem, which is what we're doing. So just want to bring you information to talk to your contractor to make sure that you are talking to them to treat the soil, to treat the wood, to make sure that you are aware of what is going on inside your house. And again, you got to contact Alvarenga Tours for the proper treatment. You got to contact Alvarenga Tours to make sure that you don't, to avoid headaches. Remember, give us your headaches. We'll take care of it. Thank you once again for following up. Si quiere rígame un poquito ahí, mire. Con un desatornillador creo que se zafa eso. Es que es tornillo, es que está mal. La escoba ahí en la, aquí. Oh, sí, eso sí, por todas partes. I can do it now, no. I can talk over it. No, I gotta move it.
No.
Sí,
So they
cambiando.
were coming out of there too.
Sí, sí, ya le puso ahí.
Remember when you first killed them?
Ajá.
Not there. So be careful where I had the lamp. Hi there, family of Alvarenga Tours. How's everyone doing? Hey, listen, we are here today with Don Antonio. Don Antonio, ¿cómo está?
Muy bien.
Don Antonio is from Rent-A-Kill. Rent-A-Kill is a pest control company here in in El Salvador. And we were dealing earlier with, and actually it's an American company as well. So I want to say that they use chemicals that they use in the States. So it's an American company based in America, but they have a company here in El Salvador where they come out and help families that might be dealing with pests. And in this residency today, we're dealing with termites. In El Salvador, we know them as comején. Sorry, I went blank for a minute. Comején, but it's termites. And as you know, termites, they decay the wood, they eat the wood. And then in this residency, we had a huge problem with the frames of the door frames. They were actually going inside the flooring, so it's actually underground. So we had to do a whole process. And I think we're going to show videos about that as well. But we're going to talk to Don Antonio. Roughly, I want to ask Don Antonio, how can I identify if I have termite problems in my house? Don Antonio, una de las preguntas que la gente nos hace es, ¿cómo puedo yo identificar si hay termitas en mi casa? ¿De qué manera cómo puedo identificarlas?
Por un medio de un túnel, un avistamiento de un túnel en madera o en pared.
Okay, so the minute you see a line that it's like a tunnel, they do build a tunnel. It's a very fine tunnel that they build. If you would, it's made of pretty much wood because that's what they do. That's how they protect themselves. It's their saliva, the wood, and then they start building these tunnels that runs along any walls. And they're looking for wood. They're looking for cardboard. They're looking for wood because that's what they survive on. So, entonces, una vez yo puedo ver que tengo esos túneles, definitivamente tengo problema de termitas.
Tiene problemas de termitas y tiene que dar el inicio de identificar todas las residencias.
Yeah. Once you see those tunnels, which is dirt, it looks like dirt. It looks like a dirt tunnel, if you would. Then once you identify those, Don Antonio is saying that then you have to really realize that you do have a problem. You got to call someone. So because what you want to avoid is them expanding throughout the entire residence, throughout the whole house, because then they're going to go into your cabinets. They're going to go into your bedroom baseboards. They're going to go into, they went in this residency into all the door frames. So we had to really get rid of all the door frames. And the funny thing is that if you have termites, and I have a box, this is something that I learned from Don Antonio earlier, and I'm giving you a gift, let's just say, or I'm giving you a box of food, and I have a box, and I have termites in my house, I just gave you termites in that box that went into your house.
So it's very, 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 it's weird the way they expand. But if I have termites in my house and I give you a box of whatever that might be, a cardboard, I'm giving you termites as well. So you got to be careful what you bring into the house. And by that I mean, I'm not saying don't get cardboards or any boxes inside the house. Just be careful, be mindful. Because if I have termites in my house, they will come to your house. That's how vicious that pest is. Don Antonio, una vez identifico que tengo termitas, rent to kill, ¿en qué consiste el tratamiento de ustedes? So I'm asking Don Antonio, once I identify that I have termites in the house, what does rent to kill, what's the treatment? What is the comprehension of the treatment? How does it work?
El tratamiento en sí, luego que el cliente llama se realiza la inspección, él proporciona dónde encontró el avistamiento y en base al inicio de los detalles reportados por el cliente, se inicia la inspección con el de venta y luego él pasa el informe interno a los técnicos para que ellos se hagan presentes a realizar lo que es el tratamiento general, ya sea en residencia o bodega.
Once you identify that you have termite problems, then you contact Rental Kill. Rental Kill will send a salesperson with an inspector. That person comes in and they do a walk through the whole house to identify where the problem is. Once they identify where the problem is, then they will decide and give you a comprehensive treatment plan of what you will need to do in order to really eradicate the entire pest in the house. So you want to make sure that you go with someone who knows what they're doing. You want to make sure the technicians that come out are properly trained, because remember, you're dealing with chemicals, and you're also dealing with the fact that you don't want to have this problem every 6 months. So you want to make sure that you really eradicate the situation, because one thing is to treat it superficially, but you don't know what's going on inside the house. You know what's going on inside the baseboard. So these people, they come out and they do injections of baseboards. They do treatment with heat and cold as well. In this residency, we use cold treatment. And we also got rid of a lot of, we also did injection into the wood areas, or the areas that are close to the wood. One of the things that he's also mentioning is that once you come up with that treatment, then they come out and they took, I think in this residency, about 8 hours to do the treatment. So it's a lengthy process, and you have to move everything, and it's a comprehensive treatment. So one of the things that we want to make sure is that you do contact Alvarenga Tours. If you have any pest problems, we're here to help you. Do not let the termites eat your house, literally. And I'm being honest, literally eat your house. Rental Kill is a U.S. company. They work with, as I said it before, they work with chemicals approved by the United States, where they will work in the outside the states as well, in this case in El Salvador. Don Antonio, muchísimas gracias por su tiempo, le agradezco. Cualquier cosa que alguien necesite, alguna irrigación o algo, vamos a asegurarnos que llamen a Rental Kill y que pregunten por Don Antonio, porque es el técnico que sabe lo que está haciendo.
Muy bien, con mucho gusto.
I'm thanking Don Antonio for being out here today, and he's one of the best technicians that Rental Kill has. So every time you call Alvarenga Tours, I'm going to make sure that we send Don Antonio to your residence so he can take care of your pest control issues. Thank you. Have a good one.